Hey folks, today I'm going to run you through the basics of doing ribs. This is just about guaranteed a foolproof recipe, otherwise I wouldn't be able to do it, that I've used for a few years now. And it's something that you can whip out on a moment's notice basically and entertain your family and friends with. So first thing you're going to do obviously is get your ribs out, and you're going to trim off those little bits of extra fat and then score with your knife just like this across that silver skin. You can try and get it off if you want, but that's going to be a pretty tough job. So just score it like that, and then when it cooks, all that will shrivel up. If you don't do that, that's going to be really tough, and that's going to make the meat shrink and basically toughen it up. So you want to make sure you do that. Next thing you do, because this is a fairly big piece, is cut it in half. The reason I'm doing that, you'll see in a second. Just going to do that and that. And now I am going to very generously douse these in salt and pepper. You can see I've got all the sauce ingredients out on the counter, but I'm not actually going to sauce these yet. Because what we're doing right now is just a bit of a dry rub, salt and pepper, as basic as you can. I mean, even the dry rub, you can put different ingredients in. You can put some seasoned salt, you can put some paprika, you can put some cumin, thyme, all that stuff. But I like to do this, the salt and pepper, as a basic mix, and then you put all your flavorings into your sauce. So there you go. Salt's all on. Come back with the pepper. Once again, fairly generous. Now before I started this as well, I've already got the oven preheated to 275 Fahrenheit. And I know this is terrible because I live in Canada, but no, I do not know what Celsius is. Because the ovens here go by Fahrenheit. You can thank our neighbors to the south for that, considering that's where we get all our ovens from probably. So there you go. Again, very basic. Salt, pepper, that's it. I'm going to drop it on this tray right there. Just like that. And all I'm going to do now is cover that in foil. Try and wrap this as tight as you can. Around the edges, so you don't have any heat escaping. Because the temperature is so low, to a certain extent you're steaming these as well. You want to keep all that heat and all that moisture inside. Don't let any of it get away. Turn it over like that, and that's it, you're done. Well, no, not quite. So this, just like this, is going into my preheated oven at 275 degrees, and I'm going to leave it in for 3.5 hours. Do note that oven times will vary depending on what type of oven you have. If you've got a gas oven, an electric oven, or a convection oven, these times will be a bit different. But generally, yeah, the rough idea is you're looking at about 3.5. And this recipe, as I said, has worked for me countless times. You'll take them out after 3.5 hours and they will come out tender, fall off the bone. Hopefully, for you anyway. And then once that happens, once they come out, you want to let them sit out and you want to let them cool down so they firm up a little bit. While you're doing all that, you can still work on your sauce. So I'm of the philosophy I never write down a sauce, which is too bad. Because sometimes I make it just right and people say, oh, can you make that again? And then I say, well, you know, I'll do my best, but I can't remember what I put into it. I'm sure there are other people out there like that. But I just start with a basic idea. You get a pinch of that stuff, a pinch of that stuff, and everybody's got their own preferences, obviously. You're going to tell me you put something completely different in your ribs. That's okay. That's why I'm not giving you specific amounts on these ingredients. I'm just saying I put some chili powder in there. There goes some paprika. Here comes the turmeric. But if you are like me, and you go through a fair bit of garlic, this is another little trick we like to do. We buy our garlic whole, and then peel it ourselves, and then crush it all up, and then leave it in olive oil, and you put it into a container. Instead of spending, you know, I think it'd be probably about $10 for this jar if you bought it like this. We spent about $2 on garlic, and got all this, and it'll last, you know, a month or so. Take another knife, dump some of that in. The more the merrier with garlic, they say, right? And if they don't, they should. And then just random ingredients, like I said, whatever you like again. So, usually give it a splash of soy. Throw in some hoisin, it gives it a bit of a sweet taste. I think everybody will agree on the Worcestershire sauce. Just won't agree on how you pronounce that, right? Worcestershire. You get some barbecue sauce. Since we're having barbecued ribs, just give that a nice little dollop. Get some ketchup, because ketchup ruins everything. Splash of lemon juice to give it a little bit of acidity. And then to give it some sweetness, I've got some honey and molasses. And again, just a dollop or two of each. And again, whatever you like, whatever your personal preference is. And there you go. So we got all that in. Just gonna give it a quick mix like that. And make sure you taste it. Whatever you make, taste it. And if it's not right when you taste it, add some more, add some other stuff. But make sure it's how you like it before you put it on the ribs. That's not bad. A little bit more salt, a little bit more pepper. And that is ready to go. So one more time, ribs are in the oven. They're at 275 degrees. They're going for 3.5 hours. At the end of the 3.5 hours, take them out, take a look at them. If you pull on the bone and it turns and it almost comes out, that's basically done. Once you do that, take them out, put them on the counter, put them in the fridge, cool them down. They don't have to be completely frozen or anything, but let them cool down a bit so they firm up, just enough. And then after they've cooled down, you're going to crank your oven up to broil, and then you're going to slather them in sauce and you're going to throw them back in the oven. And basically you're doing that until the sauce blackens a little bit, chars around the edges, gets a little bit crispy. And then you should find that the outside of your ribs are charred and crispy, and the inside should be melt in your mouth. And that is your foolproof ribs recipe. Leave me a comment, let me know. Take care.